These are my estate sale pickups. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis mostly. And I also want to talk a little bit in this video about something I'm going to call post-bought clarity. Well, it's when you're really excited to grab something that you just buy it, and then after you buy it, you're like, why did I buy that? And you might see a couple of the games in here that are that way too. But I was just excited to see them. I was super happy to see these games at an estate sale in Yakima, Washington, of all places. Now, I don't do a lot of yard sailing. I don't do a lot of estate sales anymore. I'm trying to slim my collection down. I don't need more stuff. But if it's a deal, I'm happy to look at it. There's an estate sale company in my town that will post the photos leading into the thing, saying, hey, we got an estate sale coming up, here's what to look out for. And usually, more often than not, it's like, here's some fine china, here's a bunch of Christmas stuff, here's a bunch of tools in the garage, you know, the usual estate sale stuff. You know, every once in a while there might be like a Coca-Cola collector or like an M&M collector. For some reason, I've seen a lot of old people M&M collections. But then I saw these photos. And I was like, oh. And I saw this photo. I was like, oh? Now, I know I'm not the only one in town looking for video games. So I was like, well, but I might show up just to see. I've been surprised before in the past just to see. And I still had to go to work that morning too. So ran to work really quickly, got back in line just about half an hour before it opened. There was already a pretty nice line, and I could kind of look through the line and say, okay, they're here for video games, they're here because of the video games. This person runs one of the local game shops in town, so they're definitely here for video games. Fortunately, I know the game shop person, they're super cool. But again, happy to see what we got. And even though I wasn't first in line, I was still able to make out with a healthy haul, so don't worry about that. They only let in 20 people at a time or something like that, and I was like number 25 in line. And before I even stepped foot inside the place, the first guy in line was already with a big old stack. He probably got there hella early, and good for him. If I didn't have to work that morning, I probably would have done the same. But it's important to look at this guy. No, I mean, he's getting a great deal. I'm not mad about that. I mean, he put in the work. He put in the effort. He showed up early. He grabbed the games. Good for him. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. But I don't think this guy's on social media. I don't think this guy has a YouTube channel. Yet, it's the people who are on social media and YouTube channels are the ones getting the blame for ruining the hobby or ruining the collection or the whatever. I don't know, man. Well, he's getting a great deal. He's probably, I mean, if he wants to sell them on eBay, whatever he wants to do, they're his. He bought them. He put in the work. Good for him. And that's just a side rant about what all this is all about. That's the other thing I forgot to mention too. Most of those boxes were just box only. So fingers crossed that Chrono Trigger was just box only. But there are still some games in some of those boxes, I'm sure. And the politeness of the people at this estate sale was fantastic. Twice while I was there, I like to just go through and say, okay, I'll take this one, I'll take this one. I'm just grabbing the games I'll take. I'm just grabbing the games I'm going to purchase. A couple of other people just grabbed a stack of them and then left. And then came back later saying, oh, I changed my mind on these 6 games or whatever. And they would come straight to me too. They were like, hey, I'm not going to get these games. Do you want them? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And again, I'm not even looking at them, not even looking at the price. I'm just happy to see these games, so I'll pay for them. At an estate sale, I mean, a little bit eBay-ish, a little bit price charting-ish. I don't know how they priced them. However, I bought the ones that they found. I left a couple of games just in case somebody wanted something else. I mean, there was like NBA Hang Time or something like that too. But never mind all that. Let me show you the pickups. So, anyway. And I'm leaving the prices on here so you can see what I paid. So that way you can say, oh, great deal. Or you can say, oh, that's a terrible deal. And again, it's that post-bought clarity where I just bought a bunch of games. Now, I could have found a corner and looked at each one individually and really thought about it. I was in no hurry. I really could have thought about it and said, you know what? I don't need, well, spoiler alert, I don't need Virtua Fighter for the 32X. I don't know if 25 bucks is a good deal. I'm not looking at prices. But I bought it for 25 bucks, and it's an estate sale. I'm not talking them down in price, right? So we'll see if I suffered from post-bought clarity after this. Now, a few of the games in here, I was really excited to see. A few of the games in here, I was like, oh my god, I'm like, sure, go for the Chrono Trigger, go for the Super Nintendo games, but there's some Genesis games in here. I was like, oh, that for that price? Thank you. There's even a couple of non-gaming things too. That's the other thing I gotta look for too. When I look for these estate sales, and again, I'm not looking for estate sales. It randomly popped up on my feed, and I was just like, oh, I'll look through the pictures just for fun. And I do like estate sales, not for the toys and stuff, which is great. I go for the spices. Have you bought cinnamon recently? Have you bought like pepper or anything like that? It's like 10 bucks a bottle. Go to a estate sale, get it for 50 cents. I love to cook, so there's that. But when I saw these games, that was my other thought too, was if this person had these great video games, then what other cool stuff do they have? And when I got there, there was stacks of PC games. There was a bunch of toys as well, toys in bags. If they would have had Mask or Transformers or GoBots, I would have grabbed those. Never mind about all that. So we'll see. Okay, we'll see if I suffered from post-bot clarity I'll show you what I got. And then I'll tell you what I paid for it. I'm not going to add up the prices. If you would like to add up the prices and post it in the comments, I would appreciate it. You do not have to do that. You do not have to do that. But I'll show you what I got, and then I'll tell you what I paid for it. And then you could also tell me in the comments, like, oh, that sounds pretty good. Or it's like, yeah, I mean, you should have only got a couple of those games, sure, but the rest of them you didn't need. And what am I going to do with these games? Well, a couple of them I'm keeping for myself, because there's a couple of these games that are just in great condition. But yes, a lot of these games you'll see on Whatnot and you'll see on Encore. Oh, like Whatnot does that referral link where it's like, hey, if you're new to Whatnot, you can sign up and use my link and you get, 15 bucks towards your first purchase. Encore does that now too, and Encore isn't a live stream, it's just a static, imagine eBay, but everything's a quick video of here's what it is, here's what it looks like on the back, go for it. I love the Encore app, I really do. And now they have it, so if you haven't signed up for Encore yet, you get $5 off your first purchase. So anything you see in this bag, anything you see here, first $5 off any of them. And if the game sells for $5, congrats. I love my friends, Pixel Game Squad, Retro Rick, Phoenix Resale, all of them. But I can't imagine how many times they get tagged and like, ooh, I bought all this for this much money. Did I do good? I was just like, well, do you feel good about it? Then yes, you did fine. Here's what I grabbed, and then at the end I'll tell you how much I paid. Home Alone, got it for 15 bucks. And I won't show you the inside of every game, but just to show you, every game is like this clean. It's super nice. And they must have stacked them vertically because the top always has a dust layer. But then again, so do I. Judge Dredd for 10. This is so cool to see. I never see games like this at estate sales. Cosmic Spacehead for 15. This is heavy. Kind of a neat cartridge on this one too. It also includes like a poster, so that's why it's heavier. And again, Virtua Fighter 32X for 25. I don't even have a 32X anymore. I was happy to see this one. Global Gladiators, 10 bucks only. What a deal. I don't know how much it goes for, but Flashback for 10. This is the way to play this game, the Genesis version, not the Super Nintendo version. Super Nintendo version runs too slow. This is the best version. Well, the best version is that newer one that came out on like modern consoles that has, it without it. Got Maximum Carnage for 30, which at one time sold to Blockbuster. I mean, NBA Jam for $6, I'll take it. And then oddly enough, NBA Jam Tournament Edition for $5. Okay, so this is one of those games I probably didn't need. The Sonic the Hedgehog pack-in for 15 bucks. Maybe it all evens out. Maybe I got some great deals and some not great deals and it all evens out at the end. This is Sonic 2 for 10, the best Sonic in my opinion. After Sonic Mania. I was really excited to see this one and even more excited for the price. Skitchin, one of my absolute favorites, 10 bucks only. And this one, I was like, I couldn't believe that it was still in there. Shadowrun, 50 bucks only. What's that sticker at the bottom? Display box only. Oh, I see. Carton manual, of course. And to me, the coup de grace, the KB Toys and Hobby sticker up there. I love it. And even after all that, even after, people were grabbing games left and right, that room was 15 bucks. Super Mario World with the manual. No box, of course. So definitely a pack-in on that one. If you find Super Mario World in the box, good news for you. 30 bucks for Turtles in Time with the manual. Look at this guy. I got it, my buddy. It's missing the hat. 20 bucks. They had a My Pet Monster, Little Pet Monster, My Pet Monster. It was 150 bucks. And I was like, I don't need one for that price. But this one, little grungy, little dirty, 20 bucks only. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. And I saw it there and I was like, sure, why not? Got a Talk Boy for 60. Don't know, I mean, I'm guessing these go for about 60 bucks. You can probably find them for cheaper. Maybe they come for more, I don't know, but never had a Talk Boy before. I just had that receipt. I think I reburied the receipt in here. Take my word for it. All in all, it came to about, I think it was $368 after tax. And I was taxed on all this. Why am I taxed on it? The taxes were received when the things were purchased in the first place. That's double taxed. Well, anyway. Yeah, all in all, I paid about 360 bucks. There you go. Will I make my money back? Hopefully. If not, it was still cool to do. And then after all of that, and I left the house, and my other collector buddies were kind of there too. My buddy Brandon, Andrea, we're just, chatting a little bit before we part ways. And then on my way to the car, I was like, did I really need all of those? I mean, I would have been happy with like Turtles, Global Gladiators, Skitchin, Shadowrun for sure. And there's some decent games in there. Maybe some trade bait, Did I really need this? I might use it in a video sometime. Did I absolutely really need this? Especially the fact that I already have one with the hat. And Kid Sister. Well, why are you looking at me like that?